Hello students. In our previous slides, we have discussed about the drawback of queue. So let's see it once again. So the queue is represented in array form. The first element or the first position is the front position. When we do insertion, its insertion is done at the rear part. So when we have inserted 21, the rear was in the first position. When we inserted 33, the rear came to the second position. When we inserted 4, it came to the third position, and so on. So at the very last position, we have entered 93. So it is the whole size of the queue. So it has reached the nth position or the last position. So rear is at the last position. Okay, so this was the insertion. When we do deletion from the front part. Okay, so first when we do deletion, the deletion will be the 21, then deletion would be 33, then 4. So as we delete, the front also get incremented by one position. That is, we have already discussed at the algorithm part. Um, at the next, now the front is at third position and the rear is at last position. Okay, the drawback here is when we want to insert any new element, it will check that the rear is at nth position, or the condition that while insertion we do is rear is equal to n. So it will overflow and it will exit, checking that the queue is full. But even after removing two elements from the queue, it will show that it is full, but whereas it is not full, it is two space empty. So for to overcome this drawback, we go through the circular queue concept. The circular queue is a linear data structure like queue only, in which the operations are performed based on first in first out principle, but the difference is that it is in circular form. That is, the last position is connected back to the first position to make a circle. It is known as a ring buffer. It is also known as ring buffer. So here we can see it is qth 0 position or q's 0 position, 1 position, 2 position, 3 position and 4th position, where the 4th position is again added or connected to the first position. The circular queue will be full when the front is equal to 0 and rear is equal to max minus 1. Implementation of circular queue is similar to that of linear queue. The only logic part that is implemented is the case of insertion and deletion is different from that in the linear queue. So now we will see that how basically insertion is done in circular queue so that we don't get those disadvantage that we used to get in the linear queue. So here queue is an array with size max. The front and rear points to the front and rear of the circular queue. The front always starts with 0 and we have taken the item as variable name item. Item is the value that we need to insert in the circular queue. So let's start with the first step. At the very first step, rear is equal to if rear plus 1 is equal to front, that means it is overflow, or we can say that means the circular queue is full. So we cannot insert any item in the circular queue anymore and we need to exit. But if rear plus 1 is not equal to front, here you can see as it is circle, it means the last position plus 1 will be again the first position. that is the overflow condition. But if these two are not equal, that means there is some space for insertion in the queue. So the second step says, if front is equal to -1, check. This is the condition for seeing that the queue is empty. So if the queue is empty, we need to do the insertion at the first position. So we already know insertion at the first position means the front and rear will be same and will be one value. Okay, so the front and rear position will be the initial value, that is 0th position. This checks that the queue is empty and we can do the insertion at the very first place of the array, right? Else, if rear is equal to max minus 1 and front is not equal to 0, then it will set the rear as 0 and it will insert the item there. Else, if rear is equal to rear plus 1, okay, so if rear is equal to rear plus 1, obviously rear is at one position and we need to insert any item and we will insert it at the next position. So we only incremented the rear by 1. Okay, so this three these are three condition, and this three condition will be applied as per its condition validity. If front is equal to -1, then we will be setting front and rear is equal to 0, that is initializing the queue. Else, if the rear is equal to max -1, then and the front is not equal to 0, that means there is some space, we will be inserting at the first place and we will set rear is equal to 0, that is the front and rear. Again, this condition will be applied. Okay, this condition means there is one deletion done at the front part. Okay, that front is not equal to 0. Else, there is insertion done already, but there is some space left at the rear part, at the end part. So we will increment the rear by 1 and we will do the insertion. And the step 3 says about the insertion, that is, I will insert the item at the queue rear position. Whatever the condition will be applied at that rear position, the queue in the queue the item will be inserted. After insertion, the last step is that we need to exit. Okay, so this is how insertion in circular queue is been done. Now we will see the deletion operation in circular queue and its algorithm. Here, the queue is an array with size max, and front and rear are the front and rear of circular queue. The front always starts with 0 here, as it is a array. We already know the lower bound of array is always 0. Okay, but the very first step, if front is equal to -1, so front is equal to -1 means there is no item in the circular queue. When there is no item in the circular queue, so we cannot delete any item. When there is no item, we are not able to delete any item, so it will print underflow and it will exit. And at step 2, the queue at the queue front, the item is been there. So we all know when we will be deleting, at the front part of the queue only the item will be deleted and the front will be incremented by 1. So let's come to the step 3. In step 3, the first condition says that there is only one element in the queue, in the circular queue. So when there is only one element, the condition is if front is equal to rear. Okay, when front is equal to rear, that means there is only one element present there, so we are able to delete that one element. When we are deleting that one element present in the circular queue, then what we need to do, we need to set front and rear is equal to -1. Okay, The next condition says front is equal to max minus 1. Okay, when front is equal to max minus 1, that means that it is at the last position. So at that point of time we need to set front is equal to 0. Else, when front is normally when front is equal to front plus 1, that means we have incremented the front by one position and we have deleted the item at the front position. So this is how, after the deletion, the fourth step is we need to exit. So this is how we do deletion in circular queue. So next we need to know about the priority queues. So let's know what is priority queue. A priority queue is a special type of queue in which each element is associated with a priority and is served according to its priority. If elements with the same priority occur, they are served according to own their own order in the queue. Generally, the value of the element itself is considered for assigning the priority. For example, the element with highest value is considered as the highest priority element. However, in some cases, we can assume the element with the lowest value as the highest priority element also. In other cases, we can set priorities according to our needs. So, here in the queue, it is set as the ascending order in which the element with highest priority is 9. So difference between priority queue and normal queue. The queue is a FIFO data structure in which the element which is inserted first is first to be removed. A priority queue is a type of queue in which elements can be inserted or deleted depending upon its priority. It can be implemented using queue, stack, or linked list data structure. Priority queue is implemented by the following rules. Data or element with the highest priority will get executed before the data or element with the lowest priority. If two elements have the same priority, then they will be executed in sequence. They are added in the list, in the sequence in which they are added in the list. The node of a linked list for implementing priority queue will contain three parts. One is the data part, in which it will store the integer value. One is the address part. It will store the address of the next node. And one is the priority part. It will store the priority which is an integer value. It can range from 0 to 10, where 0 represents the highest priority and 10 represents the lowest priority. So here is the example you can see of data and the address part and the priority. And at the next we have the same data, address, and the priority value. So this has come to the end of the slide. This In this we have discussed about the stacks and queues and the insertion and deletion operation. I think this video would be helpful to you. Thank you.